This is a tutorial on how I shade, because this would have been a live recording, a live screen recording, but the iPad would not let me record, probably because it needs to update. I'll get to that at some point or whatever. It doesn't matter. The point is that I made this video just because I feel like I was good at shading, and that I was so good that I wanted to share how I do it with the rest of the world. So perhaps it will help educate someone or whatever. Anyways, so the first step, well, draw your picture first. If you don't have anything to shade, why shade in the first place if there's nothing there? I should probably make this something quick. So here, I'm laying down the flat colors first, each in their individual separate layer. This will be important later for how we will shade, specifically. So lay down all your flat colors first. For some people, it may take more layers. For other people, it may take less layers. For me, it's most, depending on the complexity of the art, it will take 5 or so layers. Maybe more, maybe less. So here, I made my own custom brush for blending, because originally this was a Procreate brush I made. So here's the fun part now. We go from lightest to darkest. Wait, no, my bad. Darkest to lightest. For me, if I go from light to dark, I feel like I would overdo it with like how dark the shadows would be. But the darkest color to the lightest color for me also works, because now it's just like, okay, this is a shadow. Now I have to place where the light would be. And you may think, oh, is that it? No. For me, how I color is that, well, like I said, each individual layer gets its own shadow, whatever. Especially for like characters with like multicolored clothes, stripes, stuff like that. Sometimes I would use overlays, but I also just want to give each stripe their own color, whatever. I should also mention these characters do not belong to me. They belong to Cloudboy 555 on YouTube. I probably posted the image already on my community post. Let's just saying that now in the video, right now, so I don't forget to. Anyways, how I shade the skin and the hair and clothes. I draw like the face and the hair as one singular color, so it's going to be smooth. The skin's smooth. If I ever made the hair separate, I probably would have it be a little more textured, all that fun, silly stuff. But for the clothes are a lot rougher. As you can see with the brush, I turn down the opacity a little bit, just because I like to simulate texture when shading the clothes. Because for me, it's a lot easier to think about it in like a 3D space in a way. And so I shade clothes to be a lot more rougher, but not like sloppy, like slapping just the lighter colors on there, calling it a day. Absolutely not. No. I like to have my things look neat. And if you like the shades a little sloppy, but still makes sense, go right ahead. I'm not against that whatsoever. Color how you like. Love is love. But for me, it's easier to to think of it as a 3D space or whatever. I'm going to try to yap for the rest of the second speed paint, which is on Procreate, by the way. Because I figured that if this speed paint would be too short. And also, speaking of which, this paint freaking crashed on me while I was recording, while I was drawing it. Something about storage. Like I said, iPad needs to be updated or stuff like that. And so, just having a little yap sesh, trying to fill up all the time. I should also say, this is where originally the shading style originated on Procreate. Procreate, I feel like there's a lot paintery than Ibis Paint. I'm not saying you can't paint on Ibis Paint, render better on Ibis Paint. I'm more used to Ibis because that's what I kind of, worked with when I only had just a phone and a tablet. I don't think I had my own tablet. Originally, I used Autodesk Sketchbook, which was okay. But then I switched to Ibis and was like, oh my god, Ibis is so easier to color with. When I could draw on my PC, I would definitely use the Sketchbook. And I also used a cracked version of Ivy and my friends. But, that's something for another day. The point is that, render how you would render. And yeah, render how you would render. Like I said, rendering the skin, the hair, and all that is a lot easier for me. The clothes, like I said, sometimes I struggle with the clothes simply because a lot more rougher, and I'm trying to make it look at least good enough so it doesn't look sloppy, but also not so much where it kind of just looks like I slapped the colors on there, just not super rendered like I would with everything else. Also, shading metal in this style is also kind of hard because first of all, I don't use a reference for shading metal, period, and I think that's my fatal flaw. I don't know how to shade metal, and I think that really does affect, I guess, I don't know. Shading metal is really hard for me, but I kind of make it up as I go. But, like I said, for this tutorial, the same for this tutorial, you have to have at least some semblance of shading in general. So, it's kind of like with the DS where it says like, oh, you need to have some reading comprehension if you want to play this game. You need to have some idea of how to do things before you go in. Otherwise, you will crash and burn. But yeah, if you don't know how to shade metal, look it up. How I do it is just like go from, like I said, darkest color, but I kind of leave all like the other colors there and blend it in halfway. So it's like, oh, it looks shiny. That's it. Don't ask me how to do reflective stuff. I'm not sure how to do that at all. Anyways, I think that's enough yapping. It's already 6 minutes. I've already talked barely about nothing. So just enjoy, watch the speed paint, whatever. Maybe you'll learn something. Yeah.